People know me for a couple different things. Like, people who watch this network probably know me best from Butter and Brown, but I'm also a celebrity stylist. I work with everybody from Faith Evans to Tiana Taylor, Amber Riley, and of course, Issa Rae. Fashion is my first love. It's one of the first things I ever remember aspiring to as a kid. It was one of the first things I wanted to be. So I've met some incredibly dope people, stylists, designers, brand managers, those people behind the glamorous people. So one of those people is my boy Manny. He and I met through a mutual friend a couple years ago, and we've been friends and collaborators ever since.
Well, my name is Manny J. Style from the Gents Closet. I moved out here to LA to pursue a career in the fashion industry. I've grown from selling my t-shirts and painting shirts and pants and clothing on the streets to, being in, a beautiful office building, selling fine menswear, tailored suits, as well as contemporary menswear clothing as well.
He's really more so like my brother. Like, we've really grown close over the years, and he's one of the people that I think about, one of the first people I think about when I think about menswear and men's style. He can do everything from the classics to, being what he is, which is a trendsetter and setting the new trend. Manny is definitely that person. So the problem that I have when it comes to new clients is they come in and they always reference something from another, I want to look like such and such from the blah, blah, blah video. I want to look like this person. How do you approach when you have new clients, and you're trying to create a new slate for them, a new look, while pushing the look forward and not being too much on trend?
When people come into the Style House, my motto is we create new styles. We set trends. So we're not necessarily trend followers. We look at the trend, we respect it, but
right.
We basically set and establish new trends. So that's pretty much my thing. When people say, hey, this is what they want, I try to take that, put a twist on it, and give it more of their own ownership.
Fashion is my first love, but food is like my side chick that I bring to every other dinner and everybody knows about, but like nobody says anything about. Like, if I absolutely had to choose between the two, like I couldn't. You know how the story starts. Like, I started off by helping my mom and my grandmother in the kitchen, and a few years ago, all I remember wanting to watch was Food Network and Cooking Channel. Fewer things are more therapeutic for me or relaxing than getting in the kitchen and experimenting with new recipes. This year I did a complete overhaul of my eating habits and adopted the paleo diet. And I know it sounds extreme, but even though I'm eating much healthier, I refuse to make or eat anything boring or flavorless. So I need something clean and hearty to fuel me for my workout today. So I'm gonna make this stuffed flank steak. So now I'm butterflying the flank steak, cutting the flaps open as much as possible and moving the extra meat to the side. Then I'm gonna flatten it with the meat tenderizer and a little plastic wrap on it. This could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. It just depends on how thick you want your steak. Now I'm just taking the goat cheese, and with the butter knife, I'm just gonna smear it on the inside of our butterflied and flattened flank steak. This last smear is going to do it. Now I'm just taking the frozen and chopped spinach that I defrosted and drained and putting it on the second layer of the flank steak. And then I'm gonna add the fresh julienne red bell pepper as the last layer. I'm rolling the flank steak, tucking the corners, getting all the loose bits that might have fallen out. Then I'm gonna take this butcher's twine here, get a nice long piece. Make sure I have enough. Then I'm gonna tie it around the rolled steak and tie the pieces about 2 inches apart to make sure everything stays intact. Don't worry about the bits that are coming out, just kind of tuck them in, and if they fall out anyway, it's not really a big deal. Okay, now I am going to take the flank steak and just put it on the baking sheet here, and then I'm going to put a little olive oil, salt and pepper, and sage on it. I must have tried a million different diets over the years. Like, I've done the Master Cleanse more times than I'm willing to admit. I've done the raw veggie diet. I've even tried to like juice for 5 or 6 days at a time, and everything failed miserably. And it's taken me the last 10 years to figure out why. For me, they were completely unrealistic and unsustainable. The paleo diet is the only one I've been able to stick with for more than 10 days. Even though I have to give up a lot of really common ingredients, it still leaves me with a lot of great options for a lot of really good recipes. I'm just finishing this with a little sage to go along with the salt and pepper, and I'm gonna cover every single nook and cranny and part of the steak. I'm probably the furthest thing from a vegetarian. No matter how strict my diet is, no matter what I do, I will always and forever be a dedicated carnivore. I remember my best friend's brother telling us years ago that the human body is not supposed to consume any more beef than the equivalent of like an 8-ounce steak and like a hamburger patty. So I've done my research and I've read about it, and I can't really figure out whether or not that's true, but it's a philosophy I tried to go by ever since then, and not have any more than that amount of beef every week. At the beginning of the year, I found myself getting back to my college weight. So in order to counter all the weight that I was gaining back, I had to do something drastic. So since I met my first 3-month goal, I occasionally allow myself a little wiggle room with a couple non-paleo ingredients. Now that the steak is rested, I'm gonna remove the twine. I'm just gonna cut that into a few medallions as neatly as possible. Damn, that smells good. And I'm good to go. Every now and then I allow myself to have low-fat cheeses and complex carbs. So the goat cheese was a great addition to the stuffing for the steak, and with it I'm having roasted garlic mashed sweet potatoes and a little sauteed kale. Sweet potatoes are definitely my least favorite carb, but they're really good for you. So the tanginess from the goat cheese, the juices from the herbaceous steak, and the roasted garlic really give it a more savory flavor that I prefer. Fred Flintstone would be really proud. I've pretty much been battling my weight my entire life. In college, I gained the freshman 15, the sophomore 20, the junior 25, and like the senior 30. And by the time I graduated from Morehouse, I was like the heaviest I'd ever been at like 310 pounds. I'm headed into Metroflex to work out with one of my oldest friends, Carl.
Metroflex, yeah, it's a cool little gym here. We're here in Long Beach. If you like iron and you're into lifting weights, you're into lifting heavy stuff, this is the place for you.
And at this point, I've pretty much accepted that this is going to be an ongoing battle and something I'm probably going to have to fight for the rest of my life. But I've also decided that it's one that I'm not going to give up on. I'm going to fight. Man, I've known Carl since we were in kindergarten.
At Woodcrest Nazarene Christian School.
So I was kind of like the new kid, and you know, I was shy and overweight, nerdy.
He had like suspenders. He was a mess of a child, but he had like straight A's. He was my boy since day one.
And Carl is like the first friend I ever remember having in my life. Whenever I work out with Carl, I always expect to get my ass kicked.
What's your workout plan for him today?
I just want to kill that motherfucker. Can I curse?
Like, I'm always like this close to throwing up and getting killed.
Seth's gonna die. We're gonna give him a full body workout that's gonna burn an extreme amount of calories just to make sure that he gets that chiseled look he wants. You know what I mean? We're gonna do a lot of outdoor CrossFit style workouts. So we got, as you see, we got tires and stuff around here. We got sledgehammers. We got a couple prowlers for him to run with. We're just gonna do a lot of high intensity interval training. That's HIIT, high intensity interval training. All right, so pretty much Chris wants to lose weight and like get ripped. So we focused on developing his strength, his muscles, you know, and conditioning. Because he is a little deconditioned, we threw a lot of obstacles at him. Flipping some tires, having throwing sledgehammers, just old school workouts, just old school stuff. Like if you was just a big burly man that had nothing but a garage and you wanted to work out, what would you have? Some sledgehammers, some tires, maybe a prowler. Maybe a couple of buddies drinking beer to stand on it. Well, that's what we did today.
One of the things I've learned working out with him over the years is that, you know, it's definitely worth it. Like, I see the results. Like, he's the person that's helped me go from 310 to now I'm around like 210. You know, so I know there are benefits to the agony that he puts me through. You know, every morning when I get up, my mantra is balance, just to live a balanced lifestyle. So, you know, I try to work out 5 days a week at the very least and like eat as healthy as possible. Like, that's what I'm all about now. Forget not fitting into society standards of anything. Forget not being yourself. Forget fear, forget bad fashion, forget mediocre food, forget every disease and form of suffering caused by poor health. Man, I just want the best life possible, the best life for me.
I want to dress good, eat good, and be good to my body. That's who I am. That's what drives me. Fashion, food, fitness.
Cruising down Sunset right before the sunrise. I just send a text, let him know that he's on my mind.
People know me for a couple different things. Like, people who watch this network probably know me best from Butter and Brown, but I'm also a celebrity stylist. I work with everybody from Faith Evans to Tiana Taylor, Amber Riley, and of course, Issa Rae. Fashion is my
Shirts and pants and clothing on the streets to, being in, a beautiful office building selling fine menswear, tailored suits, as well as contemporary menswear clothing as well.
I mean, he's really more so like my brother. Like, we really grown close. Our first love is one of the first things I ever remember aspiring to as a kid. It was one of the first things I wanted to be. So I've met some incredibly dope people, stylists, designers, brand managers, those people behind the glamorous people. So one of those people is my boy Manny. He and I met through a mutual friend a couple years ago, and we've been friends and collaborators ever since.
Well, my name is Manny J. Style from the Gents Closet. I moved out here to LA to pursue a career in the fashion industry. I've grown from selling my t-shirts and painting